It has been a while since I have filmed anything, and I don't think I've ever filmed with this angle of my living room. Um, I think the last time I filmed anything, it was like December, January. It is currently the last week of May 2024. And I think the last time I filmed was December 23 or January 24, and I was filming like, what were they called? What are they called? Why can't I think of what? Commit 30. Commit 30 like planner setups, because at the time I was using Commit 30 and I had been using it for I think like 3 months. I went back to my old last year's Hobonichi. If you'd seen any of my previous videos and you remember, I loved the Hobonichi last year. It was my first Hobonichi I'd ever used. I'd gotten the Spring Start edition and I loved it. And then I ended up taking a break from it and getting all kinds of confused. And mid-January of 2024, I was like, I have to go back to it. Like, I just felt the need to go back to my Hobonichi, which I did. And I finished out so the April Start Hobonichi obviously starts in April and it goes through March. So it was mid-January. So I was able to use it for another 2.5 months. And it was a really nice feeling to go back to it and use that planner. And just have a nice full chunky planner. I had used it for almost an entire year, about 8 months. I had used it. There were 2.5 months when I had stopped using it, that were not full, but other than that, it was a very well-loved planner and I was really excited about it. So I had gone back to the Hobonichi. I think February was when the April Start Hobonichi's release with like Hobonichi. And so I ordered the April Start ones for 2024. And this is my little cover that I have decorated, but we've got it in there. So I have returned to the Hobonichi, and it is currently it is only the end of May. It's May 26th currently. And how many times can I say currently? And it's already quite full. I've added in some pages, and I've just tried a couple different things. And for my birthday, my birthday's in March, and my mom got me a HP Sprocket. So I've been able to do some memory keeping in there as well as planning, and maybe eventually I'll do a flip through of it. But so I've been in a Hobonichi now since mid-January. It was just I was finishing up my old one and now I'm in my new one. And that one I've been in since April. And I'm really enjoying it. However, I am finding, and this has always kind of been an issue I've had, I am finding I struggle with planning and I don't want to put it in air quotes, but I'm probably going to, quote, end quote, business, planning stuff, my writing. This last month, this May, I finished my first freelance editing job and I got paid for it, and that was a really exciting thing to like actually have had a client and done that. And so I've been working, that is something I want to pursue, is freelance editing, but I also want to work on my writing. And I've mentioned my writing here. I've not really talked a whole lot about it. I don't really know how much I will end up talking about my writing here. I don't even really know how much I will use YouTube. Like, I like it. I do have fun with this, but I just don't have my laundry is going off. I just don't have I use my phone, which I don't mind using my phone, but I just feel like I don't have the space on my phone to edit. It's a very old iPhone. I just don't have the capacity, and I don't have the finances to go purchase a new iPhone or a new camera or editing apps or whatever. I know there's cheap ways to do it, but I just feel like if it's something I want to do more like consistently, I'm going to need at least a better phone, and I just can't do that right now. So I don't know how, but I do enjoy doing this. My phone is just very, very fickle, and I don't know how much space I'll ever have on it. It changes with the day, I feel like. So a few updates. I can't remember I don't think I mentioned this. My husband, son, and I are leaving tomorrow. So we'll be leaving on Memorial Day. I don't know if I'll post this tonight or afterwards, but we are leaving tomorrow on a pilgrimage with our church to a monastery in a neighboring state. We are looking forward to it. We haven't been to a monastery in about 2 years. We are Eastern Orthodox Christians. And so, yeah, we're really excited to go do that. And I think that it will be a much needed spiritual journey for me particularly, for everyone obviously, but for me personally, I just feel like I've just needed something like that for a while, and we almost backed out, but we decided kind of last minute. A friend of ours from church who's also going kind of scolded us in a loving way and was like, "No, you guys need to go. It'll be really good." And so we decided to go, and we're very grateful that we are going. Although this last week I've actually had a lot of anxiety surrounding it, mainly just because this week was so busy. We have family visiting from out of town. We had graduations for family members going on, hence the family visiting from out of town. There were a lot of like little church events and events for church family members, and we just didn't. I was supposed to go to, and I kind of this weekend shut down. Not kind of, I did. I shut down this weekend, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't go. I didn't go to church last night or this morning. This morning I actually had a borderline panic attack, and I think I was just feeling really overwhelmed. I was feeling, I'm trying to be better about using those filler words. I'm very big on using I kind of did this, or I think I did this, or it's like, I know that I did that, or I know that I don't think it, I didn't kind of do it, I did it. And it doesn't bother me when other people do it, but it's something that I've noticed a lot more in myself, and I'm like, I need to be better about that. But at the end of the day, there's probably more pressing matters to attend to than my use of filler words. Anyway, so it was just kind of a stressful end of the week, but I am feeling better now. I had a restful day. I took a nap this afternoon. I've also currently got my gin Ricky. What's it called? I can't think of it. It's basically gin and Topo Chico with a little lime juice. So I'm drinking that. Topo Chico, if you don't know, is a sparkling like mineral water with a little bit of lime. It's from Mexico. Anyway, I'm rambling. This is a rambling greeting video, I guess, just popping in to say hi. But yeah, I am feeling better. I've been doing a lot more writing lately, which has felt very, very good. I have shifted gears a little bit. I was working on, I don't remember what I was doing last time. I do think I was working on a fantasy. Well, I know what I just don't know how much I shared in previous videos, but my last project was that I was working on was a fantasy serial for a fantasy novel that I had actually started way back in 2015, and it just felt too big for me at the time, so I returned to it back in October, and I was really excited about it, and I got a lot further in planning and story elements and things like that. Keep in mind, I'd already written like 30,000 words of this story back in 2015, and so this was me revisiting it and basically just starting from scratch. And I felt like it came together really well, or was starting to come together very well, but I just kept hitting a wall. I love this story. It's kind of like the story of my heart. It's kind of like my baby. Kind of. Look, I'm doing the kind of thing again. Sorry, I got a low battery notice. It is my creative baby, so to speak. I love it, but I found that it still felt a little big for me, so I had taken it from novel form to like a serial, like a mini series almost, and that helped me break it down a lot more, but it's still just, I kept hitting a wall. I love all my characters, but I was finding that in this particular iteration, I was enjoying my side characters more than my main characters, which I have no problem with enjoying my side characters. I'm like, I need to feel something more for my main character, and I just don't right now. And I also found that I was feeling that it felt a little forced. I like fantasy. I love fantasy. But it felt a little forced. It was a noble dark quest fantasy. And I just felt like that's not 100% my writing style. I mean, not that you have to have a certain style to write a certain genre either, but I just found that it wasn't working. It just wasn't, I wasn't vibing with it, as the kids say. And so I went instead I had this side project idea, and that was what I really wanted to be working on whenever I would sit down to work on the fantasy novel or series. And so I just decided to try out this weird fiction serial that I was working on. And I love it. I love it so much. And I am now in the process of writing the first season of this episodic weird fiction, speculative fiction story. And I'm hoping to start publishing it on Ream in early July. My plan is to be done with the first season in June, and I am on track to do that. And that's a really, really good feeling. It's really exciting, especially for me. Like, I've always struggled with follow through, and I think I've talked about that on this channel before. So it's just a really good feeling. I tried to outline it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna outline my serial, and that's just where I get stuck. Like, I have had success with outlining a little bit, but I've really only had success with outlining when I'm writing a full-on what's known kind of as a zero draft. And even then, I only can write the first act until I hit a brick wall, and then I just have to start writing the story. And from there, like with my novella that I wrote, that I finished last year, that I started and finished last year, I wrote the whole first act a zero draft outline. It was very detailed, and I couldn't go any further mentally. I just couldn't. So I just started the story, and I finished. The rest was all kind of discovery writing. I had an idea of how I wanted it to end, and I just went with it, you know? And that was really natural for me. And so this time around, I think that's probably also why I was hitting a wall with my fantasy story. I just kept trying to outline it instead of just writing the story. And I will return to that, by the way. I love that story and I want to finish it. I just needed something different right now. And with this serial that I'm working on, it feels really good. And I was trying to outline it, and then I just was like, I'm just going to write it. I'm just going to write the first episode. I'm just going to go for it. And I wrote the first episode. So with episodic stories, kind of hit or miss, but generally, so the idea is you release like a chapter or an episode each week, roughly. I mean, you can kind of have your own schedule, but the ideal is like one chapter a week, roughly. And I can write. I found that I've now written the first 2 episodes of the serial of this season of the episode of the serial. I can't talk today, guys. I'm sorry. But my season will probably only be 10 to 12 episodes, maybe 15, and I can write. I have now with 2. I'm 2 for 2, so we'll see as it goes. But as of right now, I'm 2 for 2. I can write an entire first draft of an episode in less than 2 hours. So typically, that's what I was going to say. Typically, the episodes are supposed to be anywhere from 1,500 to 2,500 words. That's kind of a good, sweet spot for word count for an episodic installment. And I can do that in about 2 hours for at least the whole skeleton of the first episode, and then really it's just probably another 2 hours, again just based off of 2 for 2, another 2 hours of going in and padding it out a little bit where it needs to be, taking stuff out where it needs to be taken out, editing where it needs editing, just cleaning it up a little bit. And so 4 hours per episode is really kind of what I am doing, or what I've been able to do so far with the 2 episodes I've written. And that's just a really good feeling to know what my average is and what I can do, and then it helps me to schedule things out. My battery's running a little low, so I probably won't go too much longer, but some of that is coming into play with regards to my planner, because I'm finding that the Hobonichi isn't 100% working for me with regards to kind of my craft and business aspect of things. So that might need to change, and I've been dabbling with a couple different ideas, so we'll see where that goes. But and also, now I can't remember if I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but I also am dipping my toes into freelance editing. I've had my first editing client, and I got paid for that this last month. I finished it and got paid, and that was just, again, such a great feeling to actually have been taking those steps. My word for this year, my focus theme word for this year is courage in every aspect of my life. Courage with my writing, courage with my faith, courage with my relationships, courage with my health, just everything. And I've really been actively and intentionally, probably for really the first time in a really intentional way, been keeping my word at the forefront, my focal word at the forefront of my mind as this year has already gone on, and we're about to enter into the 6th month and the end of the 2nd quarter of 2024. And it's just, again, I don't want to, I don't know. I feel kind of, I don't know. I feel proud of myself. I feel it's a nice feeling to just feel like I'm taking those steps and actually doing the things that I say I want to do. And at a pace that's probably admittedly a little slower than I would like it to be, but still, like, I'm giving myself grace because it's kind of new. It's new for me. It's follow through is new for me. And it's good. And yeah, so that's just kind of where I'm at. Just a quick little update. I don't really have too much else to say at the moment, but I just wanted to pop on and say I'm still here. For any of you who watch this, I would like to start posting more often, but I just don't know. It's not the top priority right now, but I do like it. So we'll see how that goes in the future. But anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my little life update. Trying to think if there's anything else really fast. We're still homeschooling, still just doing workbooks. We tried a couple different things this last year and just kind of came back to workbooks. It's just easier for us, and it's easier for both my son and I, who both have pretty severe ADHD, and it just really helps us. It helps us focus to just kind of have a workbook to work through for both him and I. So that's good. Yeah, that's all I got. Okay, thanks for watching, and hope you have a blessed day.